buy to get 1 month for
Mm.
free terms of service for the for not the PlayStation, for the GTA Plus.
Mm-hmm.
In this specific case here, you for you to be eligible here for the third month for free,
Mm.
in this case here, you would have to have here the first purchase, which was on the 28th of December.
Mm-hmm.
If you hadn't cancelled that subscription and you let it renew itself on the second month, then you would be eligible here for the third month for free.
Oh, respectfully, miss, I'd have to disagree, and I'll tell you why. If you look further down the
Mm-hmm.
email, it says, excuse me for 1 minute, it specifically says, if you, sorry, I'll just tell you exactly what it says. It says if you cancel the auto renewal, here it is. If you disable auto renewal after your second payment, which I did, I cancelled it after the January payment. I paid December, I paid January. If you disable auto renewal after the second payment, you will still receive the third month unless auto renewal is re-enabled before the next payment. You will still receive the free third month unless auto renewal is re-enabled before the next payment date.
Yes, it does say that information here in the picture that you have provided, but
Yes.
from the transaction history that I see here from my side, the PlayStation, I always say PlayStation,
Yeah, that's all right.
uh,
Don't
the
worry. I know what you
GTA
mean.
Plus, the GTA Plus subscription that was firstly purchased on the 28th of December, which
Yeah.
the Rockstar support also mentioned that because
Yeah.
you had like 3 days, no, 5 days
Five. Yes.
that you were not part of the benefits. But that's fine. You are still within the time frame for you to be
Mm.
able to make the
Yes.
purchase. But in this specific case here, what I'm able to see here from my side is that because the purchase was made on the 28th of December and the first renewal would happen on the 28th of January, the
Yes.
second renewal, where you would be able to cancel it, would have gone through on the 28th of February. So if you had waited until February, until the end of the month of
Oh,
February,
excuse me,
you
miss.
would have
I
got
think you've
for this
misinterpreted.
month.
It doesn't say second renewal. It says second payment. It said so. The first payment was December. Second payment was January. And then I disabled auto renewal so that I would get my third month for free. It doesn't say second renewal, it says second payment. The second payment. If it says second renewal, that would mean February. But I clarified this with Rockstar because I got confused over it as well.
Mm,
Yeah, so it specifically says second payment. You will then receive the third month unless auto renewal is re enabled. I didn't re enable it until it was clear that I wasn't going to get the month. So that once I knew I wasn't going to get it, I knew I had to pay for it. That's why there was such a long wait between the 28th and the 7th. I had to go 10 days without it because I was waiting for you to put it on, but then I realised you wasn't going to do it, and then I had to pay for it myself. So it specifically says second payment, not second renewal. First payment December, second payment January. Then I stopped the auto renewal. It's an easy thing to get
in this,
confused with because I got confused with it. That's why I spoke to Rockstar about it, and yeah.
mm, and they specifically told you it would be the second payment and not the second renewal.
That's what they said they said if it says second payment, it means second payment. If they says if it says second renewal, it would mean it would be third payment. Second renewal is third payment. They said if it says second payment, it'd be the first renewal. But they said that we have to specifically say that this deal is not with us. This deal is with PlayStation.
Mm.
Yeah, so they made the point of saying that. So you have to take it up with PlayStation. But it does say that, miss. If you read it carefully, it's second payment. I paid the second payment in good faith.
Yes. Whenever there is any sort of promotions, whether it's happening here with um, subscription with game developers or directly here with PlayStation,
Mm.
any sort of promotion that we do here, any time that it is mentioned here, even though it says here second payment, for us, for you to be eligible for the third month for free, you would have to let here the second payment to be renewed,
I
so
did let
you'll
the
be
second
still
payment.
eligible for.
It's,
No, it did
it
not
says
go
here
through.
the third, if you disable auto renewal after your second payment, which I did to make sure I got the third month for free, you will still receive the third month free unless your auto renewal is re-enabled. So what that means is that if at any point between me cancelling it and I decide to renew it, I won't get the 3 month. And the reason that being is it would confuse the system and think I was reapplying again, and that's why I didn't do it. So it specifically says here, and that's what I went by in good faith.
If what I
I
see
took
here
that in
from
good
my
faith.
side,
I
it
paid
says
two
that is.
payments and I wouldn't have joined, Miss. Honest, I would not have joined, rejoined if I knew I wouldn't have got that because I got bored of it. I've been paying for it for like 2 years, so I thought I'd cancel it, and then I realised, oh look, I get a 3 month, and then so then that's why I rejoined. I thought it was a. Do you know when like supermarkets, they look at what you're buying and they send you free vouchers
Mm-hmm,
based on your. I thought that the reason that I got sent that offer because the PlayStation thought, oh look, he's cancelled it. Why don't we send him an offer? I didn't know it was like a offer for everybody. I thought they specifically sent me that offer because they thought, oh look, he's been on it for like 2 years. Why don't we give him this to see if he'll come back? And that's why I
mm-hmm.
did it. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. And I feel like I've been tricked. And as I said, you're the third person I've spoke to. Obviously, you needed to speak to your supervisor or your colleague about it. It's probably quite a complicated matter. But I feel that, I spent all this time trying to fight for this. It's 6.99. I've spent all this money last year. I don't understand why PlayStation are being so steadfast over this matter when it's clear that I'm in the right. And if I was to send this to my bank and get a charge back, you know, two of your colleagues have already threatened me that they'll suspend my account. If I was to take this to court and show a judge, oh, look,
Was
I
not
got a
a
charge
threat.
back because of this reason, then I would imagine the last 3 years worth of games I've paid for, you'll be like 10,000
Mm-hmm.
pounds down because of a 6.99 problem that yeah, definitely. I'd really appreciate it if you'd ask your colleague again to reconsider based on the specific wording of it saying second payment. I'd really appreciate it if you'd speak to him again and please reconsider it. And if he doesn't move after that, then obviously we have to escalate it. But I'd really appreciate it if maybe you would try and speak to him again, please, because it specifically does say that second payment, not second renewal.
That said here before here, Omar, in regards to my colleagues having threatened you, quote unquote,
Yeah.
it was not really here a threat because it is an action that will happen if in any case that
No, with
not
respect,
going to
Miss,
use
you
here this
can't because under I did a year of a law degree. You see, I mentioned it earlier. Under UK law, there's something called the distant traders regulations. If I raise this with the bank would then make an independent decision, independent of me, independent of you. It would be unbiased. And if they come to a
mm-hmm.
conclusion that based on the wording, you tricked me into doing this, and then you still, I have to make a point of saying this. It isn't a point of you saying your account's suspended, you're not allowed to go online anymore. You will be saying your account's suspended, all the games that you've brought over the last 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, you can't have access to. That's where it becomes illegal, where they threatened me because they said, if you go down the legal path, we're going to take away thousands of pounds of your merchandise because we're not happy that you're going to do a chargeback. Whether they're doing it on behalf of a manager or doing it on behalf of a policy, if you look at Nuremberg, they are saying, oh, look, we was just following orders. We didn't want to gas the Jews. We was just following orders. They still got hanged. Your colleague are just following orders. They're just doing what they're told. They're still responsible for what they've done. They can't say, oh, look, we're going to suspend your account if you use the law to get remedy, because I'm entitled to do that. And if you're not happy about it and you say, right, we're going to suspend your account, then I'll take you to court and I'll get every single penny back that I've ever paid for every game that I've ever brought. Because it isn't like, as I said, it isn't like you're saying you can't go online with these games. You're saying you're not allowed to use any of these games, because you've put yourself in a position where you've got a digital monopoly now, where people don't buy games on CDs anymore. People are downloading them. So, that's how it is. Now, as I said, I'd really appreciate it if you spoke to your manager again and put my point of view across. It says second payment. The wording's clear. And as I said, if I don't get that 6.99 back, I've no other choice. Out of principle, I'm going to have to contact the bank and get a charge back for not only 6.99, but the two payments before that, which would add up to 777 £21 97 because you tricked me into paying 2 months, get the third one for free, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know I was going to get the third one. If you suspend my account, I will take you to court and I will get every penny back for every game I've ever brought. And I'll tell you why, because you cannot.
Omar, I really do apologize to be
I have to give
interrupting
you
you
the
here, but
warning.
since
I
you
have to
have
give you the legal
mentioned,
warning. I have to give
hey,
you the legal
that's
warning.
fine, that's
And
fine,
as
but
I
I'm not
said,
going to be the
you
best
do
person
you
to
you
be
do not
speaking
have to
with you
say
in regards
anything,
to
but
the law.
it may harm your defence if you do not say anything. Anything you do say may be used in court.
Omar, as I said before, I am not going to be the best person to be speaking in regards to the law, so I will escalate your case to a dedicated team so they are able to further
No, but you're a
provide you
representative of
the
the company,
information in
please,
regards to
miss.
that.
You're a representative of the
I
company, please,
really do
miss.
apologize, but I am
I'm
not able
sorry
to
that the
speak the
call has
law in
ended up
regards
like
to
this. I
this.
really like you, miss. You're a very kind person. I'm sorry that it has come to this. I feel really bad speaking to you in an abrupt tone because you've been very kind. But as I said, I'd really appreciate it if you would please speak to your colleague again.
I really do apologize here, Omar. Since you have mentioned in regards to taking here the PlayStation to court, and you have also mentioned here the UK law, really do apologize, but I won't be able to speak with anyone in regards to this. So I will have to forward this information here to our dedicated
That's
team.
fine.
Okay.
So I
Is
need
there
to ask
perhaps
you at
anything
this
else can
point.
assist you with?
Yeah, I need to ask you at this point now. So are you now saying that you're not going to do anything, you're not going to escalate it, you're just going to tell your legal team that I've said that? Are you taking what I've said?
As I said
Are you
before,
taking what I've
as
just
I
said
said,
as a legal notice? Because if you're telling me you're taking that as a legal notice, I don't need to write a letter to you to say that I'm taking you to court. Because to serve a legal notice to someone, you need to write them a letter, give them 3 months.
as I said here, Omar, I cannot tell you, I cannot speak in regards to the law, so I will
I
have to
can.
forward this information here to the team. Is there anything else I can assist you here?
Yes, I just asked you, are you going to escalate it or are you just going to leave it at that and pass my comments on to your legal team?
As I said before, I'm going to escalate it to a dedicated team.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And when you escalate it to the legal team, are you going to mention both parts of my argument?
Of course, I always
All right.
have to mention the
All
reason
right.
why I'm going to escalate it.
And I just want to say that, I really liked you, Miss, and I'm really sorry that it's turned out to be an abrupt conversation because I think you're a very kind person, and I really do hope you have a nice day. But I'm sorry that the call has ended up like this. I don't mean to cause you personally any offence because I think you're a nice person, but I'm sorry personally. I'm not speaking on a business term here. I'm sorry personally
Mm-hmm.
if I've offended you in any way, and I hope that. this doesn't affect you, your day in any way. I hope you have a really nice day. Okay?
Thank you. You too.
You
Thank you
take
for
care of
calling
yourself, miss.
PlayStation.
Okay?
You too. Bye bye.
Right.